Uh, Good afternoon, class. Today we will start with concept of files, type of file, file organization, sequential, indexed, and relative. Okay, sequential, indexed, and then relative, and modes of processing, batch, online, real time. So first, let us understand what is file. So whenever you save a record, you always save the record in files, right? Like it can be your images, it can be pictures, it can be video like movies, it can be audio clips like songs, it could be any document, any PDF file, right? So all you stored in the machine, whenever you store them in a computer or a machine, you store them in a file formats. Now why we store it in our memory? Obviously for future access, right? So that you can use it in future. But what will happen if you are storing it in such a random way that you cannot find the file in your you cannot find the file when needed. Suppose take an example. Suppose you are shifting a house. Okay, so you have packed your entire, whatever you had, like clothes, your books, your shoes, whatever you had, you have packed it, and now you're shifting. Now after shifting, obviously you need to suddenly something comes up and there is one book that you need to access. But because you have packed it haphazardly, randomly, you really don't know where you have kept the book. So just imagine the amount of time it will take to search a particular book from the entire stack of boxes or curtains that you have moved from one place to another place, right? That's a huge amount of task. But what if you have, organized your like whatever your items are, you have organized in such a way that there is one curtain only for books, another curtain only for clothes, one for shoes, one for say, your electronic gadgets. Okay, if you have done this, in that case, to find that particular book, you just have to open the book carton. That's it, right? So that means organizing a file is a very essential thing, not for, not for storing, because you are storing files anyway, right? Using file system is storing your documents only, records, documents, whatever you say. But file organization is required so that the retrieval of the file or retrieval of the record in the in future becomes easier, else it will consume lots and lots of time to, find one single record from a number of like 1,000 records. So that is why we need file organization. Now there are three methods of file organization: sequential, indexed, and relative. Now what is sequential? See here, sequential file means that files are stored in a sequential way. What is sequential? One after another, right? Like as you have seen in the libraries, the books are kept one after another. So that is what sequential files are. Now, whenever you want to enter a new file, okay, but suppose you want to enter a, new file. A new file will always be entered from the end of in the end of the file, right? Like this is the beginning of the file, this is the end of the file. So whenever you want to enter a new record, sorry, not file, sorry, whenever you want to enter a new record, the record should be entered at the end of the file. Okay, now this entire record in the file is stored in either it could be ascending order or could be descending order, depending upon the key value. What is key value or key field? Suppose I'm storing, I'm maintaining an attendance register for you guys. Okay, so what I will do, I will write the roll numbers and then I will write the roll name, right? So it will be ascending order, like roll number one will come first, roll number two will come second, roll number three will come uh, third, and so on, right? I would just keep it in a haphazard way, or I can also do it like four will roll number, four will come first, then three, then two, then one. Okay, but I will never write it in like two, then five, then four, then one, then three. No, right? So it will always, I will always try to maintain ascending order or descending order way of maintaining the records. Now, whenever you insert a record in the file, as I told you just now, like writing a writing a attendance sheet. So now if a new member comes, what I will do, obviously I have to, I have to enter its name at the end of the list. Like after roll number 4, I will give him roll number 5, and then I will enter. Okay, now suppose I have done a mistake. Okay, the person whose roll number is 3, I have by mistakenly given him a roll number 2, and I have entered him as roll number 2. So here I have to enter a new record in the middle of the file. But can I do it without, modifying the entire record? No, I cannot do it. I can enter a new record, but which will obviously come at the end, at the bottom of the file, or at the end of the sequence of the file, and then to sort it, I have to rearrange it. Okay, so inserting a new record in sequential files can be done in two ways. One, you insert it at the end, okay, and you just keep it, or you enter it in the end, like, see, if you just enter it in the end and just keep it, then this is the final result that you get, right? R1, R3, and 4, R10, and then R2, which is not an ascending order. But this will obviously increase the headache of search and will not, satisfy the purpose of file organization. So this is not acceptable or entertained. So what we have to do? We have to sort the record after inserting R2, right? Sorting can be done using multiple sorting algorithms, whatever you need, whatever you want. Okay. So once you have entered the R2 at the end of the file, what you do, you use a sorting algorithm, and then you sort the entire file, and the final product will be this. So now the purpose of file organization gets satisfied, right? So what are the advantages and disadvantages of sequential file organization? Advantages: it is very simple. Okay, search is done sequentially. That first, suppose you want to search R5, what will happen? First R1 will be searched, then R2, then R4, then it will come to R5. It will not directly come to R5. Okay, so sequential search is done one after another. First this will search, this will search, this will search, then it will fetch whatever data you want. Okay, then you don't need to keep any headache. Okay, it is very cheap mechanism. Okay, I mean, it's not costly. What are the disadvantages? It consumes time in searching your data. Okay, suppose you have you have 1,000 records in a file. Okay, and you want to search record 999, like 999th record you want to find out. Okay, so it will the searching will start, as I said, it will start from the first and then come sequentially. First, so R1 will be searched first, then R2, then R3, then R4, and so on until unless it reaches to R999. So that means the it is very time consuming, right? Secondly, it has redundant data, because there is no mechanism of checking whether same data is getting inserted again and again or not, so it may contain redundant data. Okay, also you have to use a sorting mechanism to sort. Suppose you want to enter record 800. Okay, so you have to enter it at the end, and then you have to sort 1,000 records just to place record 800 in its appropriate position. Okay, now let's discuss what is index sequential file search. So in index sequential file search, what is done is, it is I mean it has its table. Okay, whatever table it has its table. Along with the table, it makes another table which has two parts. One is data part and another is index part. So what data part consists of? Data part consists of the value, I mean primary key, right? Like suppose I'm saying that I want to access, bank account of a particular person. So I give a key number to each of the, each of the customer of the bank. Now I maintain a Here, see, let's take this example. So I maintain the key and the address. Okay, this is index part and this is the data part. Okay, so now suppose I want to access, I mean the balance of Harry Eagle from this file. So here, whenever I am accessing an index sequential search, what happens? This index file gets stored in the main memory. Now, as you already know that main memory is the fastest memory, and secondary memory stores the actual file. You must remember, whenever you are not accessing a file, your file is stored in the secondary storage memory. Whenever you are accessing a file, the file gets stored into main memory. But when you are accessing an index sequential search file, then what happens? The index file gets stored into the main memory. So suppose I want to search for a key 116702. What will happen? This is in memory 11672. This search happens sequentially. Okay, now when it comes here, it finds the address is 003. Now what will happen? It will not search the entire file of the actual file which is stored in the secondary storage memory. It will simply go to the location of 003 and will fetch the detail and will show it. Right? That means the search amount reduces significantly, right? Suppose this I mean suppose if you take an example only, suppose you are I'm talking about bank like SBI bank. Now how many customers are there in an SBI bank? And even if you take like a branch which is closer to you, it will have at least 10,000 customers, right? So if I have to search details of one particular customer out of this 10,000 customer with the using sequential search file, just imagine how much amount of time it will take, right? At this, and here the only thing that is searching here is the key. The only thing that it is searching in index sequential file search is the key. Once you get the key, you have the direct access address, and you can directly access the address. Okay, so this is the advantage of sequential search. Another advantage is random access and sequential access both are possible. Okay, excuse me. And also, as I've told in the previous way, that is sequential search, insertion of a data in the middle of a file is not possible, but here in the middle of the file insertion of data is possible. Okay, suppose see here it is shown in this way, but not necessarily that I mean your data stored sequentially. Your data could be stored like anything. Okay, like see here 007, then the next data is stored in 305. So it is very much possible. Okay, the data are always not stored like a table here as shown here only. It is shown here for your understanding, but it is always not the case. So you can store data middle of a in the middle of the file. Only thing you have to do is you have to add the address here. Suppose you store something in 006. Okay, whatever you store, the key and the address, that is 006, you have to add here. That's all. And that also you can add anywhere. It's not necessary that you have to add it here. You can add it anywhere, and even in the at the end of the index table. And you don't need to even sort it. Okay, now what are the disadvantages of sequential index sequential search? The disadvantage is you have to maintain a unique key. Okay, for accessing the data you have to maintain a unique key, and also you have to periodically update this table. Suppose something gets added, you have to add it, right? So you have to periodically update this table. Second disadvantage is it requires more storage space. Why? Because there is one file, the actual file which is there, another index file is there, which you have created for the benefits, such as fast search and fast and middle store and storing and being able to store data in the middle of the file. Then also when you delete a record here, suppose you delete this record. Okay, this memory should be freed. Until unless you free this memory will be, consumed, occupied by garbage, and it cannot be used by other something else that you want to store, right? So this you have to keep in mind. So in the next class, we will learn we will learn relative search. Relative search is nothing but combination of sequential search and index search. Then modes of processing batch, online, real time. Okay. Thank you, class.